Every once in a while, I get asked what got me into hobbying, what got me enjoying painting toy soldiers. And originally, this was down to two writers. It was down to Tolkien, and it was down to H.P. Lovecraft. I read both of those writers for the first time when I was 11, so yeah, long time ago. And they are authors that have had a massive, massive impact on my view of the world, on what I find enjoyable. Not long after I'd read them, I discovered Dungeons and Dragons, and then Tunnels and Trolls, and RuneQuest. RuneQuest has recently been re-released, but I love the RuneQuest system. It's a very personal system. And the manufacturers, Chaosium, transferred that rule set over to a new game, a horror game, called Call of Cthulhu, based on H.P. Lovecraft's works. And there were various miniatures that came out at the time, lead ones, Ralpartha, Grenadier. I think they definitely Grenadier. I've still got some of those knocking around somewhere, but I've not seen them in years. But they were the first models that I got for those role-playing games. I thought, well, this is fun. I'm enjoying painting these. I enjoy making them mine. And that led gradually, when Games Workshop took off into Warhammer, I thought, this is cool. Armies, wow, brilliant. And then it's just sort of snowballed from there. And as you can probably see on my feed, on my Instagram feed, I've painted a lot of stuff over the years. But it all really took off with the role-playing games. And in 1981, Chaosium released the first edition of Call of Cthulhu. And I got it. I got the American edition, I got the British edition that was published on the license from Games Workshop. I got lots of the supplements. I've loved that game for years and years. Last year, to celebrate that this year is the 40th anniversary of the Call of Cthulhu game coming out, Chaosium launched a Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter was to reprint that first edition, bring everything up to date, brand spanking new stuff, full box. I went all in. I wanted all of it, so that I could put my first edition next to my Celebration edition on the shelf and just have that huge fanboy moment of being, I've got cool shit on my shelves. Today, the anniversary edition has arrived, and I'm going to see if I can do an unboxing and just geek out for a while with it, because it's made me really happy that I've got this thing here. So let's see what's in the box. So here it is. Lovely reproduction of that original cover. Let's open her up. It's quite full, I can tell by the feel of it. There's a lot of stuff in there. So, what's in the box? Yeah, absolutely. The original set, as it says here. 3 booklets, 1 world map, maps. Always in for maps. I love games with maps. Brings everything to life. Let's have a look. Character sheets, always a plus. As I mentioned earlier, the RuneQuest system that translated over to Call of Cthulhu is a very personal system. It's quite easy to get killed and die horribly in this game. Even if you don't die, there's every chance that seeing the unholy extra-dimensional terrors of the Lovecraftian universe will just drive you mad, and then you might as well be dead because you've gone completely insane. It's a wonderful metric. And there you have the rule book. The very first time that we got to see this, 1981. And this is the 40th anniversary, 40 years, guys, that I have been immersed in this incredible and terrifying world. It's a beautiful reproduction of the original. The source book for the 1920s, Lovecraft's stories were mostly set in the 1920s and 30s. Stopped writing in 1936 as a result of being dead. His work has been continued by various writers. Stephen King has often had very, very nice things to say about him, about how he opened the door to so many other writers to take what he started and improve on it, to change it. Shadows of Yog-Sothoth. This was a campaign. This was the first campaign book that came out for this game, and it is an epic story. They only really bettered it with the Masks of Nyarlathotep scenario box, which was even bigger than this. But Shadows of Yog-Sothoth, what a fantastic story to it. I am so looking forward to reading this again and re-immersing myself in it. So much to read. The Asylum, short horror stories, if you will, that you take part in. If you've never played a role-playing game before, you create characters, you take part in the story. It's almost like improvised street theatre with a set of rules to make certain that everything is working as it should be. And in this case, it's all about people finding horrific things and trying to survive them. Trying to protect the world from things that want to break back through into our reality and take it from us. Cthulhu Companion was extra stuff, more spells, different monsters, more stories. It's all about the stories. Trail of Sathogua was another great adventure. Linked stories around the world. And always beautiful, beautiful art. Fragments of Fear, another add-on book. And there we go. Oh, I remember now. I put the cash in for some extra dice, and these are the first role-playing dice that I've had in a long, long time. And they're rather beautiful. Quite impressed by that. Big map. Too big for me to open up and show in this space, but yeah, it's the whole world with tentacles. You can't go wrong with the whole world with tentacles. Size comparison chart was always fun. This is how big the monsters of the mythos are compared to people. There is people. These are elder gods. You would literally be going up against elder gods. Oh, keeper screen. I did not remember that I was going to get that. Fantastic. Handy charts. All the stuff I would need. Bless them. Cut out character figures in cardboard, because back then there weren't that many miniatures making companies. You would have to rely on things like this. The first Warhammer Fantasy Battle scenario box, Macbeth, I seem to remember that came with cut-out figures that you could use for your battles. And then there is a pile of handouts to go with all the adventures, so that when your characters find clues, you hand these over to them, they work out what's going on, or they fail miserably to understand what's going on, and they die horrible, horrible deaths. What a fantastic box. I'm going to read through every single page of these books. I'm going to reacquaint myself with the old original system. It's in 7th edition now, I believe. But yeah, this is where it all started. This is where it all began for me, because I enjoyed D&D, I enjoyed RuneQuest, but Call of Cthulhu was where it was all really at. And this, more than anything else, is what got me started in the hobby that these days just absolutely keeps me going. And that down there is Boo's butt. because she wanted to be part of the film, and now she is. So, thanks for watching. Take care, guys.